Enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi. Hello.
Time for another radio show. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We got a busy day, too. Very, very busy day.
Ball.
Kind of bummed. I thought you would have seen the John Spano thing by now.
No, I heard about it.
I want to discuss that so badly with you.
Who's John Spano?
I heard about
He
it.
bought the Islanders even though he had no money. Literally had no money. I think they said he was worth maybe a couple $100,000, or maybe he had a couple $100,000 in the bank. And he had to come up with $165 million in cash to buy the team. This was back in the mid-'90s.
Right.
He was our big, great white hope
Oh, yeah.
for us Islanders
Apparently.
fans.
And,
Islanders were sucking bad, and this guy comes rolling in from Texas, 32-year-old guy that looks like he was 50 at the time, horseshoe bald, basically giving everyone a lot of hope that he's going to turn around the Islanders, keep them on Long Island, get a new arena, get rid of that stupid Islanders logo. The old one, well, not the old one, the in-between one, I guess I should say. Yeah. Then they went back to the old one. And then everything slowly but surely started falling apart on this guy. He needed to come up with $165 million. He was able to get a loan from a bank in Boston, Fleet Bank, for $80 or $85 million?
85 mil?
$85 million by forging all sorts of documents.
How do you do that?
Well, it was the mid-'90s.
That just seems
He even
amazing.
Because they interview him in this thing, this 30 on 30 or 30 for 30. What is it called? 30 on 30?
30 for 30.
30 for 30. Sam saw it as well. And, he forged documents, and he even admits, because they interview him as he is today. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't think anyone could get away with, forging documents like that.
Right.
But back then, he was able to do it. And Fleet Bank went for him and said, here's your $80 million. So then all he had to do was come up with another $80 million.
Yeah.
And then he had all sorts of excuses, and people started closing in on him, going, what the fuck's going on here? And he was able to make a deal going, look, I owe you 80. I think it was 85. I owe you 85, so I'll give you $17 million a year for the next 5 years. So he had to come up with the first $17 million payment. Once again, the guy only had a couple $100,000 to his name.
Which, if you think about it, that's broke.
Yes.
When you need $17 million.
And then the guy's like, look, I need my $17 million. He goes, I'm going to wire it, no problem. So he wires him $1,700.
Yeah.
And the guy has to call him up and go, there's some kind of mistake. It's supposed to be $17 million. This is missing a few zeros. I just got $1,700. He goes, that's impossible. But the bank must have fucked up.
The panic that had set in, too, because when he transferred the $1,700 and he owed them another $85 million, they had already signed the team to him. Yeah. They sold him the team even though he didn't have the money, because he said, I'll pay you tomorrow if you sell me the team today.
He was a great talker, and he was able to go, oh, no, I'm good for it. And he would show all these documents of all his money and his finances. That it was tied up here in the Cayman Islands. It was tied up in England. It was this and that. But he had numbers that he was showing people.
He was pulling a Jerry Lundegaard.
Yes.
That's exactly what he was doing.
Yes.
Oh, we'll get those numbers to you. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll send them right over. Oh, Mr. Lundegaard, if you don't send those over, we're going to have to recall those loans. Okay. That's exactly what he was doing.
Best panicked acting ever.
Oh, God, amazing.
Great.
You knew something awful was happening.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah, right, good.
We're pretty busy, but that's the way we like it here.
And then is this the Clark Gillies clip?
It is just the trailer.
Oh, you want to see the trailer of this at least, Dan?
Uh-huh.
All right.
They were a team like no other. Hometown heroes.
Probably not.
Role models.
Probably nice.
Billy Smith.
Champions.
Bossy.
They were the most successful expansion franchise of all time.
We always said the success we had was our respect for the New York Islanders and what we learned from them.
And when the triumph ended, it was a long fall to the bottom.
And that was ugly.
I wouldn't have bought a ticket to watch our team play. We sucked.
Mike Milbury.
Until a savior emerged.
All of a sudden, here comes this
Savior.
white knight, John Spano, in to save the Islanders.
There's been a commitment made here on Long Island by the fellow by the name of John Spano.
Now he wants to turn the franchise around. I mean, it was our dream.
Turn this thing around.
Here is the next coming. You know, this is the next Messiah of Long Island.
He's coming in and he's going to take this franchise to the promised land.
He would walk into a room and there'd be thousands of Islander fans screaming his name.
Wow, the guy was great.
But the guy wasn't who he said he was. And in the end, the dream came crashing down.
He's being arrested.
John Spano's failed attempt to buy the New York Islanders spiraled into federal court today, where the 33-year-old businessman was arraigned on fraud charges on Long Island.
He committed mail fraud, he committed wire fraud, and he committed bank fraud. He jumped in with both feet and almost pulled off the American dream.
He fooled lots and lots of people.
Gary Bettman.
He toyed with us on so many levels. It was all his attempt to be a big shot.
They call it big
It was
shot.
everything I hoped it would be, and actually it was more. I mean, for 4 months, I owned the New York Islanders.
Look at him.
It's an amazing story, and you don't even have to be a hockey fan. You don't have to be an Islander fan.
What years was that?
Like 96-ish.
Do you remember him? Remember like?
Oh, we all did. We were all excited because after the Islanders won those Stanley Cups, you know, there was a lot of lean years, horrible years, and all of a sudden this guy came in, like they said, like a white knight to save the franchise, and he was a bust. He was a fraud basically in the end.
A fraud.
He only had a couple $100,000 to his name, and he bought a fucking hockey team. That's pretty amazing.
Really?
Because no one was doing their research or their background checks or nothing.
He looked terrible for 33 too.
Oh my God, he looked like he was 50.
Awful.
Yeah.
So, you know, and so he was able to get the 80-85 from Fleet Bank in Boston. Oy. And then, you know, the owner who was selling the team's like, all right, now you owe me another $85 million? He goes, all right, I'll give you 17 over, you know, a year for the next 5 years. And then he wires him $1,700 in a panic because he doesn't have it. Thinking that's gonna like buy him some time.
$1,700.
Because who would buy that?
That's it.
On that level where guys are like multimillionaires / almost billionaires, if something like that happens, you're not going to think that the guy actually meant to wire you $1,700.
Right.
You got to assume right off the bat that's just some ridiculous banking error.
But then he went and blamed an IRA bombing that he saw on the news.
Yeah.
On the delay of payment.
Another delay of payment.
Mike Milbury was so good on it.
He was great. Well, Mike Milbury is a jerk.
He called him an asshole.
Jerk.
And he's calling Spano an asshole and a jerk.
Yeah.
Mike Milbury's ornery.
They kept showing the clips of Mike Milbury going into the stands and beating up the Rangers fan with his own shoe.
Yeah, that's a very famous hockey clip.
Oh, yeah.
Milbury when he was playing
I remember
for the
that
Bruins.
one. Yep.
He hates, to this day, I think, the Rangers.
Kevin Connolly said he just threw that clip in over and over because he knew that wherever you throw it in, it's going to be a laugh.
Yeah, of course. Kevin Connolly did a great job. He directed the 30 for 30. So.
Oh, is that why he was here? He was here promoting that?
Was he promoting that?
Yeah.
Did we try to get him on?
I think you guys passed on him. I interviewed him.
I don't think. Did we pass on? I don't know if I would have passed on that one. Being an Islander fan.
He might have been because he was in the afternoon.
I don't think we passed on that one, to be honest with you. I think it was a timing issue. We would have had him on in a second. He's a hardcore Islander fan. Born and raised on Long Island. So
yeah.
And then in the end, you know, it all came crumbling down, and he gets arrested, and he does 4 years in prison, and then he moves back to Ohio and starts a small business, and then he got caught there.
I guess he apparently was Mr. Fraud over there too,
and then had to do another 4 years, but they were very vague about that. I'm not sure if he did another 4 years in prison or it was probation or what. The only thing he messed up on with this whole thing was not telling us what he's doing today. Like, what is John Spano doing today? You interviewed him throughout the entire documentary. What is he doing today?
Oh, they didn't do a little update?
No. They should have had, you know, the graphic, you know,
yeah,
with the music, and you freeze frame the guy and go, this is what he's doing now.
You have to. I even like that with fictional characters. I certainly want that with a real guy.
You have to. That's but besides that, it was well done. Gives you the whole history of the Islanders, where they came from, and how bad it got, and this guy trying to buy the team. That's how desperate they were, though. They're like, yeah, all right, yeah, if this guy wants the fucking team, give it to him. Fuck it.
His spin on it was so stupid. At the end of the movie, he said, you know, my dad said a lot of people, they have these dreams and they don't even try. Son, You tried.
It was criminal.
He lied.
Yeah.
He didn't
He was
try
a
at all.
liar.
Yeah, I want to be an ice skater. I can fool people. It's my dream.
And instead of saying, I shouldn't have done this, he goes, if I had one more week, I would have pulled this off. He's thinking one more week, he would have figured out how to get that $17 million.
How would
for
he
the
get
first payment.
$17 million?
But then he would have to get another $17 million the next year.
Yeah, you worry about that when it comes.
Exactly.
And then he's partying at the Garden City Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big famous spot out there on Long Island. A lot of the rich and famous go.
Sure.
When they're hanging out on Long Island. And a lot of the Islanders and the organization used to, I'm not sure if they still hang out there. I have no idea. But he would go there and party and get whores and stuff.
Whores.
He was sitting in the lounge just partying with Mike Milbury, and he goes, hey, I got some girls. They're going to do each other, and then they're going to do us.
Wow.
And he billed the team hundreds of thousands of dollars because he was flying around and partying.
I was living the life.
And he had no money.
Right?
He had no money.
But at the end of the day, they said he was actually a good owner because when they did finally sell the team after they got it back from him, they sold the team for more than they were going to sell it to him.
Wow.
They made an extra $30 million.
He increased the value.
Yeah.
He made an extra $30 million, the other guy, the old owner that was trying to sell it to Spano.
All because he got that Gorton's Fisherman off the jersey.
Right.
That's stupid. Gordon's Fisherman.
What was the old logo?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, they decided the Islanders went so bad, we got to change the logo, and we all hated it as fans.
It was terrible.
It looked like that's
Look at that dumb.
Oh, yuck. Now, wait, that was the original one? Or that's
No.
That's the 96 logo.
It's
Yeah,
a
that was like kind of
fisherman
mid-90s.
with a hockey stick.
Yeah. Because
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, if you live on Long Island, you fish,
Yeah, right?
There's a fishing community here and there.
But what's the old one? What's the other one? What's the one that the fans like?
The one that they have now.
Yeah,
Is this the original one?
to it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they just went back that,
Okay.
The old Long Island, New York. The Y is a hockey stick. And the Islanders across the bottom.
Oh, I like the Fisherman.
There
I
you
think he's fun.
You like the fisherman?
Oh, I think it's fun.
But it's like a horrible,
It's terrible.
drawing and just,
Yeah, it's very complicated
It
looking.
really is. You don't even really know what it is
It's
at
a big
first.
blue blob at first. and then
Exactly.
You got to look. Is it a mountain?
Oh, he's having fun.
What is it? That's terrible. Who designed that?
Can you imagine? I was thinking when I was watching this, the panic this guy must have felt. Just waiting
imagine
for. It's the famous thing we always talk about, where the feds are closing in and they're going to be knocking on his door any night. He talks about how the stress and the pressure, and he had a grandfather clock down the hall. He lived in Texas, but he came up here a lot.
The tick-tock.
And he would just hear the tick-tock and it ringing 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and he's just sitting there in bed going, how the fuck am I going to pull this off?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he said he would just stay up all night, like, realizing that this was the only time he had, because as soon as the sun came up, it was going to be a whole new set of problems.
Yep.
Oh, God. That's like... It's like our old bit. If he did fall asleep,
Of course.
You hear that nice fucking... You're just there.
Wait,
you
what do
lay
you
in
mean?
bed, maybe.
Oh, okay.
You know... Oh, I finally got some sleep. Oh, my God. That was nice. Oh, I haven't slept well in a long time. Oh, what time is it? Oh, 7 a.m. Oh, God. What am I going to do today? I think I have something to do. Oh, my God, I got to come up with $17 million. Oh, my God, I'm a complete fraud. Oh, my God.
I think we can get him on the show, too, by the way.
Yeah.
John Spano?
Yeah, I think he's talking. He's talking.
He's checking.
He is talking. He wanted to be a big shot. That's why this thing's called Big Shot.
Didn't you?
And he was a Texas guy. He kind of hung out with Staubach a little bit.
Did he?
A little bit. Or used his company. There was some kind of connection to Staubach.
I'm sure it was some kind of fucking ruse.
Jerry Jones would invite him to watch the Cowboys games in the box. So he was an up and coming businessman. He had a small business in Dallas. He did okay, but he wasn't worth even $1 million.
He wanted to skip all that building the business up to the point. Just skip over that and go right to the top.
And I didn't know this until I watched this. He went for 2 other teams before the Islanders.
Really?
He went for the Dallas North Stars, and then he went for the Florida Panthers.
But what happened? They asked to see a bank statement, and it all fell apart.
Yeah, right?
Well, the Dallas North Stars is a really funny one because they're getting together to make this deal. Like, they're just starting to talk, and they go to lunch. And Spano's the guy that's going to buy the Dallas North Stars at the time.
Right.
So they're all having lunch discussing. It's early on. And the bill comes, and they all are assuming, I guess in the business world, especially when you're making deals, everyone just knew it was Spano's check to pick up.
Yeah.
It was just a thing. You just know. So they're all just sitting there going, what the fuck? The guy's not going to pick up the check.
Pick up the fucking check.
For lunch. And he didn't pick up the check, and that was one of the first red flags.
Allow me to pay the check.
They're like,
okay,
why,
Ralph?
They're like, why isn't he picking up the check?
Wow.
There was some break in protocol. Everybody
exactly. As far as deal making again.
Yeah.
They just knew that, like, what? He's the one that's supposed to be paying for this, and he's not
at that point.
And then the Florida Panthers, they were starting to talk, but then I guess they got a new arena or something, so the owner didn't want to sell. So then
lucky.
Here come the Islanders.
Damn.
I loved it, man. I really liked it a lot, and I don't think you have to be a hockey
sounds great
/ sports fan to enjoy it.
Where do you see it?
ESPN.
Oh, okay. What's it, like an hour?
Yeah, the 30 for 30. An hour and a half. The 30 for 30 is great. The Sugar Ray Leonard No Moss one was great, too. Oh, my God. That was awesome.
No Moss.
With Roberto Duran.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
And what I learned about that one, I didn't realize they fought for the third time. Did you know that?
No, I knew there was two. I forgot.
Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran had two amazing fights, and then after No Moss, you fast forward, I think it was 8 years, it might have been 9 years. 9 years later, they fought, and they were both over the hill. Duran was 38 at the time, and they considered him over the hill, and Sugar Ray Leonard was only 33, and they considered him over the hill already at 33 years old.
For their third fight?
Their third fight, which I believe Leonard won, but it was like no one really remembers that fight. It was almost like a throwaway. But go watch No Moss as well. That's great.
I heard he's really heavy now, Duran.
It didn't seem heavy in the 30 for 30.
Was he shot recently?
Yeah,
maybe
it must.
weight.
Yeah, I mean he's a lot heavier than when he was boxing, but I didn't look at him like he was a fat guy or anything like that. So he's claiming that he had cramps.
Why?
And he had to drop a lot of weight. He refuses to tell anyone the truth because everyone's like, oh, that's bullshit.
He had cramps.
Well, he after he beat Sugar Ray Leonard, he went on a partying spree.
Yeah,
and gained a lot of weight. And the second fight was only, I didn't know this either, was only, because you forget, because nowadays they wait. They fought like 4 or 5 months later. I didn't know that after the first fight. So he had to drop a lot of weight quickly. And he's claiming because of that, he was, dehydrated pretty good, and he started cramping up.
A little crampy.
Yeah.
I told my gym teacher I had cramps once.
And
he called me like a faggot and said only girls get cramps, because I didn't know about periods and girls getting their cramps when they have periods. And I thought because I had like a stomach ache and my intestines were like, and I was kind of out.
Sure.
I said, I can't do, gym today. I have cramps. And he's like, what are you, a faggot? Only girl to get cramps. The good old days.
I love the fact that every older male
called me a faggot.
That you're a homosexual.
It's adorable.
Anyway. So that's what I did last night. I watched this fucking thing.
I watched a different documentary. Yeah, it was like, the more tender side of Anthony. I watched that was called Sam, or Life According to Sam. That little kid with progeria. It was on HBO. Oh, it was terrible. I felt so bad. I know, I'm still going to be like, well, I'm just a normal kid. But it's like this woman, she's a doctor. She's married to a doctor, and they have this kid, and he's got progeria. There's only like 250 progeria kids in the whole world.
Do they know before you're born?
No, I don't think they do.
You sure?
No, they figured it out. They just isolated the gene for it now, so they don't even know.
There's only 250.
Yeah, they don't even know, in utero, that it's going to fuck you up or anything. That it's going to, the kid's going to be fucked up.
Dude, this looks like a tearjerker.
It was pretty sad.
Life According to Sam on HBO. Look at all the awards it's won.
I know, it's really good. He's like 13 though, so most of them, That's the top end of their fucking lifespan. 13. They had one that was 18. This girl from like India. Oh man, was she a disaster?
Really?
Yeah. And then
they don't make it to 20, right?
Nah, I don't think they do. They don't make it past usually fucking 12, 13. So this kid's like fucking 13 at the time, and he's really like smart and just a nice kid, and he just looks so wacky. They show him in school, and he's fucking rattling off algebra to this other kid, like helping other kids in the class and stuff. And the mother and father are doctors,
right?
And they had this kid, and like after a couple of months, they're kind of looking at the kid, going like, something's not right. So they take the kid to the doctor and shit. And of course, the doctors don't know. They're not gonna like think it's something that only 250 kids in the whole world have. And then finally, one doctor was like, "I think kid has progeria." And they looked at pictures of other progeria kids at that same age, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's exactly."
Wow.
What's the physical sign?
The physical thing?
The first thing that they notice.
It's like the skin looks very thin, and translucent. And you're jaundiced, and the eyes look a little fucking buggy and shit.
Well,
and then it just keeps
gaining
going.
a lot of weight.
Yeah, and the kid wasn't gaining weight.
Right.
That's another thing.
That's why the eyes look buggy.
But then, they get big arthritic joints. Their cartilage and stuff gets also, their nose gets really big, and their ears get all fucked up, and their fingernails get all fucked up. And then the bad part physically is that their cardiovascular system, they start getting like hardening of the arteries and shit at fucking like 8.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's just
so
horrible.
the mother like dedicated a life to doing a study because they isolated the gene and then realized the gene had certain similarities to this drug. So they're like, all right, we're going to try this drug study. So they started doing that over the course of about 2.5 years, which is like, these kids are like little mayflies walking around.
Yeah, he must hate recess at school.
Yeah.
That's got to be like a year to him.
Oh, my God,
Like,
right?
seriously?
I know.
Let's just keep going.
Yeah. So they got a bunch of kids from all over the world with progeria and brought them in. Like, how many were it? Like 30 or something? 30 of these kids, maybe more, and started giving them this drug. Now, the thing is, the way the FDA works, which is ridiculous, any FDA approval should be given to progeria drugs because, fucking kids.
They don't have the time.
They don't have the time to fuck around.
Yeah, what do they have to lose?
Exactly. So it's usually done with a placebo group, and a group that's actually taking the drugs. But she didn't want to be, again, these kids don't have much time. She didn't want to not give some kids the drug and give other kids the drug. So she gave all the kids the drug. So in the FDA, there's this protocol that you have to go through. And they were like, well, no, you didn't have a test group with the placebo, so we're not going to approve any of this medication. And the medication apparently did slow down this aging process in these kids. But they wouldn't approve the fucking drug because they didn't have the test group properly.
Amazing, some fucking bureaucratic scumbag.
Exactly. It was so fucking ridiculous.
So where are they now?
Well,
with the whole drug thing.
She
is
got,
that going to be in the movie?
It's in the movie, yeah.
I don't know what happens to the kid, I'm saying. I mean, I'm sure he's dead, but I don't want to know it.
No, actually, I'll spoil it for you. The kid doesn't die by the end of the movie. He's actually 15 by the time the movie, or 16.
Is he taking the drug?
No, but they have this. They're kind of making headway and getting approval of some type of fucking treatment. There's no cure. There's just treatment. But they had all these other kids and stuff with progeria, and it's like, one kid winds up dying during the thing.
Of course. Like, what could the drug do that's worse if you're going to die so quickly? I mean,
exactly. That's just it. There should be like these exceptions.
Yeah, put them on an island or something if you're scared.
Right.
If you're scared they're going to turn into monsters or zombies, and at least give them a chance to continue living.
The best part of it, though, is this fucking kid. It's like, he's got all this shit going on. And there he is in school, fucking, he's in band, and he's fucking like all kinds of activities and winning all kinds of awards for his studies and everything. And you just look and go, this kid's got such bullshit in his life.
What asshole teacher gives him a B?
Right?
Just give him A's across the board. What are you doing?
Help out.
Leave him alone.
And all the kids in school were like fucking nice to him and hugging him and high-fiving him and shit. And,
That's cool.
I have a story about him going to Disney and he gets on a ride, and it wasn't even like a roller coaster ride, and he broke 2 ribs.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, because he's got fucking, fucking porosis or whatever. It's just terrible.
Anthony's becoming a person.
No.
Between
like
the kitten and the progeria.
I was just taking that.
Well, I mean, I think our audience gets really confused by us.
I know. We're very confused.
You're going to do the progeria voice and get some jokes in, but we do have souls. Like, this brings up a point. A lot of people have sent me the clip of the 2 Down syndrome kids being they voted him prom king and queen. But they sent it to me like, I can't wait for you guys to beat the shit out of these 2.
I know.
And I'm like, you just don't really. And I don't blame some people, I guess, because I understand what we do on a daily basis, but that's the type of thing we wouldn't go after.
It's not.
And they're like, more PC shit. I'm like, no, that's not it. What makes that story so fucking cool is that the whole high school got together and said, you know what, let's do a good thing here.
And when they drop pig's blood on him at the end, it's really.
But it wasn't like they rigged the voting and like look,
right.
Or the school decided. No, the students themselves came together and said, let's do this nice thing.
Right.
I'm saying this to you because I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
No,
dude, that's the that's how I found out about this documentary. Somebody tweeted the link and goes, Anthony, you gotta see this. Right. I can't wait to hear you fucking goof on it.
This little fucker deserves everything you're going to give him tomorrow.
Hit him with both barrels.
Right, make it hurt.
What the fuck would what could I possibly say?
And fair enough, it's subtle, but there is like, I don't know.
There's a balance. There's a humanity that sometimes people don't think that we have.
Right.
Like, I'll make fun of retarded people in an abstract thing.
Of course.
But as far as, like, if somebody tweets me a photo of a retarded kid with Tony Romo, that famous picture, I can't retweet that and goof on it. It's just too sad. It's like, and there's a difference between taking a real kid who's retarded and fucking sending his picture out. It's like, Jesus.
And I'll tell you this, I turned the corner on, the kid that's doesn't have much time and they give him the ball in the football games and let him run.
You did?
I think Jimmy was the only one in studio that was for it from the beginning, I believe. And I was like, God, there's got to be something else you could do. I'm all in now. What does it fucking hurt?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty silly.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of, but I mean, I'm all in with that shit too. Whatever.
Yeah, you give the boy a little happiness as opposed to what? The jocks who are going to have lifetimes of happiness?
Right.
Let the kid run. Fuck him.
Yeah, I saw in this documentary, he's on like a drumline thing at one of the football games, and they had to make a special harness for him so it doesn't just bust his fucking little bones. And he's playing the fucking drums, and the father's like in the bleachers, and he's
all proud, right?
Proud. It's just like fucking. And then the whole time you're just going, oh yeah, he's an absentee landlord.
Yeah.
There's no God. Where is your God?
Or people that are against like all this research that will fix this shit so you don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, not that there's that many, but
I say
it's not that they're against. They got all their rules, and that's what's ridiculous.
I say you hack up fucking fetuses in a Cuisinart to get fucking cures for
absolutely.
Shit. Fuck it. Who cares?
Until they're 5.
Exactly.
They should have
until they're 5.
They should have. You got nothing to lose. Drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's so obvious if this person is going to die, you got this new drug. It's the scenario. You got nothing to lose. So I know it's not approved, but fuck it.
And you have to literally sign away the kid's life.
Right.
Like if something happens, hey, you can't fucking sue us.
Right.
That's it. Period. No getting a lawyer even.
I would love to know the spin on that where they can't do that. Because I'm sure there's so many parents out there that know of drugs and things that they're still working on.
Yeah.
But they know their kid's running out of time or a relative, what have you. It's like, all right, it's the nothing to lose.
And they would chance it because
chance it in a second. Yeah. Of course, you don't even have to go to the phones and ask people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to Charlie in Philly. I fucked up. I meant to go to John. Charlie, you better be good.
More PC shit.
Sorry.
More PC shit.
Oh, those dummies.
They really are.
I get so confused because I'm like, God, we do try to show different sides of ourselves.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I know we're animals. I'm not going to try to sit here and act like we're like, great guys, but there is whatever.
If you take any stance that they think is inconsistent, not like, hey, I don't agree with your stance, like, you're a sellout, you've changed.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, dude, fucking relax.
Yeah. Let's say hi to Charlie in Philly.
Good morning, boys. How you doing?
All right.
You're talking about the progeria. I watched a show last night on the Learning Channel. It was about these people. They don't age. It was like opposite of progeria.
We did this one. There's a woman. It's creepy as all hell. Like her siblings are growing up around her, and she's pretty much stayed the same age. But the problem is she hasn't developed mentally though.
Right.
We did this. Do you remember that clip where they show her like family pictures for like 15 years, and everyone's growing up around her? And she's the exact same.
Wow, that's fucked up. Yep.
Yeah, there it is. Doctors baffled. What's the headline again for the people out there? Doctors baffled, intrigued by girl who doesn't age. Yes, Charlie. We played the clip on the air a while ago.
No, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
Yeah, that's fucked up. She's like, how old? She looks like a baby.
Yeah, they still have to treat her kind of like a toddler.
Yeah.
And I think she's upper teens or early 20s at this point, I think. If I remember correctly.
I'm trying to give that medicine to everyone. Yay.
Thanks, Charlie.
It's like Willy Wonka's Kissy Factory.
Yeah, she's 16.
16, okay. I meant to go to John, not Charlie, but that was good, Charlie. John in Maine, what's up?
Hey, boys, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey, two things on that documentary I watched the other night. One was on Ann saying with the drug and the FDA, she has to get published by a medical journal. And so every time she submits it, they won't approve it unless she's published. So they denied her like 3 times.
Ew.
And then on the 3rd time, they did say if you revise it this way or that way, we'll accept it. So they finally accepted it. And so now the drug's in approval phase, and they're headed to the next step. But the thing about this disease is what she's discovered when she isolated this gene. And I'm not speaking from a medical point of view or anything, but the protein that ages us just basically builds up quicker in these kids, and it can't flow properly, I guess. And so that's what ages them so quickly. But they're thinking if she can isolate this and discover how to slow it down in these kids, they're saying basically she could create almost the fountain of youth, because if she could slow down aging and then you give it to a normal person, then what could that do for a normal human being?
Yeah, actually, it could benefit everybody. So let this lady go if she wants to take it on.
That's what we need. People living fucking hundreds of years.
Well,
100 more years of that? Oh, God.
Yeah, you look 300.
I would like to squeeze out another 100, though.
Yeah.
Just another 100. That'd be nice.
It relates to the heart disease. Like all the Ant was saying, with cardiovascular and whatnot, these kids are getting that. So it's the people that, eat shit all their lives and don't exercise, they get it, brought on. But it's the people that are born with sort of that genetic heart disease or high cholesterol, things like that, that this could save those people and get away from invasive surgeries and, prolonging drugs, et cetera, et cetera.
They didn't really get into to make you understand, because that would be a totally different documentary, the genetics of it. But they showed like this one little fucking speck in the DNA that is different.
Yeah,
one little fucking speck that has to be. You realize the perfection that needs to take place during conception to have a normal kid come out. It's astounding that so many come out fucking normal. This one little fucking gene, and then they show like these things. They look like fucking little logs, and they're linking together, and that's how this the matrix of a human is initially formed. And then they show what happens when this one little thing is wrong. Instead of linking end to end, one kind of falls on top of the other and just fucks the whole line up after that. And that's what happens. And it's like, That's all it takes.
So they can't just remove that loggy thing.
You don't even know it's happening at the time. It's,
the shit in DNA is still ridiculously tiny. You just need better microscopes. Blow that shit up.
Yeah,
that'll be a nice.
Dr. Opie's take.
I'm telling you,
we need bigger microscopes to see the shenanigans.
It's too tiny. So let's just blow everything up, and it's going to be very obvious what's going on.
Oh fuck!
And then like operation, you're like, okay, I got to get rid of this loggy thing.
Yeah. Bigger microscopes.
Just blow everything up, make it nice and big. John, thank you, sir.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
These will all be a thing of the past soon. Like once they map, like Kurzweil said, once it's mapped, no more Down syndrome, no more progeria, no more cancer. All this shit is going to go away.
At least they fixed that Down syndrome thing. Well, not fixed it, but they can detect it.
Right.
They could detect that, which is an odd thing, I guess. People that have Down syndrome children now, or not have them now, but are having them, are giving birth. It's an odd circumstance. I guess they're so dead set against abortion, or because you could find out very early on now with tests. But some people are just like, no, I'm not going to abort under any circumstances. So does that mean like people that have Down syndrome children now are very religious? Is that kind of like what happens?
What do you mean?
Because you're not aborting if you realize that there's a problem. Is it your religion that keeps you from doing it? Or, it seems to me that the makeup of the parents of Down syndrome children today is a lot different than it used to be. Because it used to just be a crapshoot. You didn't know until you gave birth.
I think there's probably some guilt involved too, probably.
You think?
I don't know how easy that would be to do.
You're a daddy. Would you, if you knew something was amiss, would you?
Here's the answer. I would
get the old Hoover out.
I would. This is a bad question, but I would absolutely go for the abort.
Right.
Thinking,
it's
okay,
not bad.
there's more kids in my ball bag, so and those kids, won't have a chance.
Yeah.
Now they get their chance.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't know. I think my wife would fight me on it though.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd have to do.
I'd have a
Doc
tough
Martin.
You'd have to put your foot down and go, look, who pays the bills around here?
Where do you put your foot? Right on the abdomen.
I'd have a tough time with that, but I wouldn't be like skipping around. It would be a tough decision, but that's the direction I would.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be.
That's heavy shit.
It's not a decision to be taken lightly, I'm sure, but the technology the way it is and the fact that they can detect certain things.
But I would also abort if I knew the kid was going to be a ginger. So,
that's true. All right. You got to do the world a service.
But that's a decision couples have to make, and I bet you there is like a little conflict there where one's like all in, like no fucking way, I don't want to deal with this, and maybe the other person's like, no, we could deal with this.
Well, the quandary is how far do you go? All right, genetically, you see that your kid's going to have Down syndrome, you decide to abort.
They're picking the eye color at this point.
Now, if you could find out the intelligence or eye color, where do you draw the line between? All right, abortion's legal. I know that the kid's going to be this, that, or the other thing. Do I abort because of eye color? Do I abort because of, disease? And where does it become unethical?
Right.
Well, they'll start just building whatever you want. Like that's how it's going to be soon. You just won't have to even make that decision.
Instead of just trial and error and aborting what you don't like, you could just build what you like.
I don't know.
So it comes out. But then, am I talking about a society of super children?
You are.
I think I am.
Absolutely.
Linger a tad longer.
I've been asked to donate my genetics.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have been.
What, to a fucking fish hatchery?
Jimmy paused way too long on that one.
Because I had nothing. I had a thought and nowhere to go with it. I'm glad you brought it home. Oof.
Fish.
Oh, very funny.
All right, well, that sucked. To hear the Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week, live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, @Opie Radio, @Anthony Cumia, and @Jim Norton.